What's going on, guys? This is Vince with vshred.com, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys the easiest way to squat without low back pain. Alright, so like I said, today's video I'm going to be just teaching you guys probably one of the most common and easiest ways to start squatting without low back pain if you are experiencing low back pain. And what I'm going to be doing is just clearing up the butt wink confusion. We've all, or most of us, have heard of this butt wink term, and basically that is just the bro science way of referring to what is known as lumbar flexion. So first off, I'll show you exactly what this butt wink is, and basically that is just when you're going down into a squat, you got a bar on you and you're going down. I'll actually take my shirt off for this just so you can see. What you want to watch is my lower back. And so the first worst thing that you can do is start with your squat like this. We all hear that when you're trying to do a squat, you're trying to target your butt. So what you want to do is stick that butt out. The only reason people say stick your butt out is because they're trying to teach you to drive through your heels rather than put all your weight on your toes. So what you want to do is actually not stick your butt out, but you also want to put your weight evenly on your heel and your toes. That way you can stay in this neutral position. That's what this whole video is going to be about, is neutral pelvic positioning and a neutral spine. So what you don't want to do is, first off, you don't want to do is stick that butt out. But the next thing, what this butt wink is when you go down to a squat, you're staying, so I'm not going to stick that butt out. You're going to go down into a squat, and as you go down, you reach a spot of the squat where your butt is going to curl over. You're kind of going to get this winking of your pelvis where it goes from a neutral position on your spine, and you're going to start having lumbar flexion. Your butt's going to start tucking under. Now, many experts have started to associate this with tight hamstrings, and so their answer is always, oh, you need to stretch your hamstrings, because obviously if you're going down into your squat and once you get down to the bottom, your butt starts winking, and what's happening is your pelvis is going into a posterior tilt. It is tilting forward and you are creating lumbar flexion. You obviously have tight hamstrings. And that's not always the case, because what you can do is just lay down on the ground and you can try to bring your hamstrings up past 90 degrees. And I'll even show you it right now if you want. My butt just winked as I did that squat. I'm gonna come right here, and my squat doesn't go farther than that with my leg to my body comparison when I'm going into a squat. And so if it's not tight hamstrings, or if you can do that, then it's obviously not gonna be tight hamstrings. So you want to focus on fixing other components of your squat. And what this is mainly going to be referring to is really the co-contraction of the muscles on the front and the back of your body. Because what's happening is, as you go down, you basically just want to teach your body how to get into that position and get out of the position properly. And that's why people do things like pause squats, where they get down into the bottom and then they sit there for a second, and then they learn to contract out of it properly. And a lot of it comes down to contracting your glutes properly, because if you're not, it's going to be much harder to get out of that in a neutral position with your spine. But the other issue is that when people talk about the butt wink, they think that even if your pelvis tilts posteriorly even a little bit, that it's an issue. And the studies have shown that a neutral spine is not one position. It is not this one fixed position that you have to be in all the time. It is actually a range, a small range, but it's trying to figure out what that range is. That's the difficult part. So I'm going to show you guys a little tip that you guys can start doing today. The first one was not to stick your butt out as far as you can, but the second one is going to be to load up on a weight in front of your body to get down into that squat position at the bottom. And when you start experiencing that, and you're probably gonna have to get a mirror for this or something, but once you start experiencing that butt wink at the bottom of it, you want to stop right when you start experiencing it, and you want to get this weight, you go down into it. Once you start experiencing that butt wink, you actually want to take this weight out in front of you. You want to come up a little bit and then you want to go down a little bit. Once that butt starts winking again, come up a little bit, come down a little bit. And what you're actually teaching your body is how to properly go into this position without creating an abnormal amount of lumbar flexion, because as long as your spine is in a somewhat neutral position and you're not getting this huge tuck with, now right here, you see this curvature of my lower back right there. This is way too far of a posterior tilt. But if I come right about to here, I'm still in a neutral position with my spine. And then if I have this weight, I can even go a little bit deeper because I'm able to sit back farther and keep that neutral position with my spine. And then as I come up, I remain in a neutral position with that spine. So just teaching your body how to get into that position all the way down at the bottom, and then also teaching it how to get out of that position and explode up in a controlled manner while not over posteriorly tilting your pelvis at the bottom, and then also not anteriorly tilting it at the top, and remaining in that neutral spine position. That's going to allow you to squat without that back pain. Because, or if you ever had a disc herniation, people associate disc herniations to lumbar flexion. And if you're getting this lumbar flexion and have back pain after you're squatting, but you always hear that you got to go ass to grass with your squats, but you're going ass to grass and your pelvis is posteriorly tilting, and now you have this lumbar flexion going on, and the next day when you are just walking around or trying to put on your socks or something, it hurts down in that lower back area. It's because you're not being aware of this lumbar flexion that's going on, and you're not taking the appropriate steps that you need to take to fix that and avoid that and squat properly. So like I said, easy way to do that is just make sure you're in that neutral position with your spine the whole time. And the way to do that is to teach your body how to stay in that position by holding a weight out in front of you so that you can sit back a little farther, staying in that neutral position even at the bottom of the squat, versus if I don't have this weight here, I put it down and now I'm getting a little bit of lumbar flexion to be that deep. So I hope that video helps. I hope more so that it helps your low back pain if you're experiencing it the day after squats or 2 days after squats, or just back pain in general. Keeping a neutral spine is going to fix that for the most part, unless you have some overlying issue that I'm just not hitting in this video, because obviously I'm not able to work with everybody one-on-one and figure out what the issue is. But the majority of the time it's going to come down to keeping a neutral position with your spine and your pelvis throughout your squat movement. So hope this helps. If you guys are looking for more tips, tricks in the gym, in the kitchen, how to achieve the body that you're wanting, but you haven't been able to get there, I have a free body type quiz that not only takes in what your body type is and tells you it, but it shows you the appropriate steps that you need to take to get there for free. You can check that out by clicking the link in the description below this video. Other than that, if you guys have any comments or videos that you guys want me to make, leave them in the comment section. Make sure you're clicking that thumbs up button below if this video helped you, sharing it with your friends. And then last but not least, make sure you're clicking that subscribe button and the notification bell right next to the subscribe button. That way you're not missing out on any of my future videos. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.